relational operator. Please do remember the concept of assignment operator and double equal to relational operator. Assignment operator, as I told you, it assigns a value to a variable, wherever double equal to compares for equality. Alright children, now apart from this we can see other operators also, the logical operators and or. Identity operator is not. Assignment we have already discussed. Membership operator, you must be remembering in and not in. For example, when we read a list and if I have to write down for I in L, you must be remembering we have done this in operator along with the list. Similarly, not in means if the value we are looking for is not in the list. So membership operator. Then arithmetic assignment operators, these are known as the shorthands. Now in shorthands, if you see, plus equal to, minus equal to, multiplication equal to, division equal to, or you can see all the arithmetic operators are taken here as a shorthand. Now if I show you, see here, if I say a is equals to a plus 1, this can also be written as a plus equal to 1. That means we are assigning the value of a plus 1 to a again. So the same thing can be written as a plus equal to 1. Similarly, if I write a modulus equals to 1, that means we are dividing a by 1 and storing the modulus into a itself. So all the arithmetic operators can be used by arithmetic assignment. Alright, then these are the bitwise operators. We might not be using these operators in class 12th as well. Alright, next is punctuators. Now punctuators, I told you in the beginning of the lesson that punctuators are the symbols that are used in programming languages to organize sentences, structure and indicate the rhythm and emphasis of expressions. In simple words, the punctuators mark either the end of the statement or end of the block, or the different sentences are marked with the punctuators. For example, you must be remembering that if I talk about this parenthesis, these round brackets are used when we define a function. For example, you must be remembering print function, we used round bracket. Then you must be remembering this colon. This colon is basically used when we define a for loop. You must be remembering that whenever we write for I in, let's say L, and let's suppose L is the list here, and then we put a colon. So this marks that we are going to start with a block. So this is called a punctuator. Alright class, next there are other punctuators also. We'll be learning them slowly and gradually. The next is bare bones of Python program. Now this is something new for you. Up till now we have been revising what we have done in class 11th. Now this is little new thing for you. Now bare bones means the basic structure of a Python program. Let's see a very small program here. What we are doing here, we are defining a function. See here, def cu. Now what is a function? I keep on saying function, but first of all we need to understand what is a function. So in simple words, if I say that function is a group of statements that performs a specific task. A very simple example to understand the concept of a function is the print command, the print function. What does the print function do? It prints the statement which we write into the function print. Similarly, you must be remembering we have done other functions such as pow function, we have done length function, we have done sqrt functions and many more. So all these functions are, what type of functions are these? These are system defined function. System defined functions means the functions which are already defined and there for you to use it in your program as per your requirement. Alright, now system defined functions are basically stored into the libraries. These are the system defined libraries. We'll be going into details in the further chapters. Now, other than system defined functions, we may define our own function also. So the functions which are defined by us or by the programmer are known as user defined functions. So see the first thing, that is def. So def is the keyword to define the function. Then we write down the name of a function by which you want to create. CU, you can have any name, but while naming a function, you should remember all the naming conventions that are followed while naming a variable. The same concepts, the same conventions are followed here as well. Then, as I told you earlier, that every function followed by round brackets. So anything which is followed by a round bracket means it is a function. Then we put a colon. Now see, this is another example of punctuator. We are putting a punctuator colon. That means we are going to start with a new block afterwards. Now within this function I am simply writing print. This is my function. We can have more than one statement also within a single function. Alright, so this is how I have defined a very small function in which I have given only a print statement. We can have many more statements if you want. So this is called a function. This is a function and this is comment. Now you see the hash symbol, as we know that comments. Why the comments are required? Comments are basically the non-executable statements of a program which makes the program more readable. Alright, so this is a single line comment. We have done multi-line comments also. Again, this is comment. Now the main program. So I have defined the function here. Then now see, if I say a is equals to 10, b is equals to a plus 20, c is equals to a plus b. So all these are the expression. This is an assignment statement as we are assigning the value of a to 10. Then if I say b is equals to a plus 20, c is equals to a plus b. So these are expressions. These are known as expressions. This is condition. If I say c greater than equal to 100, that means if is a reserve word which is used to define a condition, and then we write down the condition this way by using relational operators. We have this c as an operator, 100 is a value. So this is checking condition. Then within this if statement we put a colon also. Then within the if statement I am writing print the value is equal to more than 100, else we write down another statement. So this is a simple program which is written outside the function. Now see the point here, CU. This is called the calling statement. Means the function that we have defined CU, this is the body of the function. Body of the function will tell you what the function is going to do. What the basically concept of function is that it performs a specific task. So the task you want your function to perform is defined here. And when you want to call your function, we need to write down the calling statements. So this CU is a calling statement. You can write down just the name of a function to invoke a function followed by round brackets. We'll do the functions in more details after this chapter. Let's continue. Next are the concepts of variables. As we have done variables, since you all are mathematical students, you must be knowing what are the variables. The variables whose value varies. Alright, generally we have understood the concept that the variables are one whose value varies. Now let us see whether the concept applies here also. So variables are the named temporary locations. So these are named temporary location used to store values which can be further used in calculations, printing results, etc. So basically we use variables to hold the values temporarily so that these values can be used further for the calculations or for displaying results, etc. Now let us see the examples here. Num is equals to 100, name is equals to James. So we have taken one variable as num, the value is 100, name is equals to James. So we are assigning this literal 100 to the variable num. Similarly, the literal James to name. Let us see some more examples. Python variables are not storage containers. They are like programming language. Let us analyze by example. This is the example given for C++ language. So I am skipping this part. Let us continue how the variable works in the language Python. Since we are learning Python, so we will understand how the variable works in Python. So now let us see one example. if I say radius is equals to 100, radius is equals to 100, see, if I say radius is equals to 100 means I am assigning the value 100 to the variable radius. So memory address is, let's assume that 3568. Now in the next statement, if I say radius is equals to 700, so what will happen? It will not override the value of radius by 700, rather what will happen, radius will have a new memory location where the value 700 would be stored. So now you see memory address is different from this one. Alright, so you please understand here, each time you assign a new value to a variable, it will not use the same memory location. Alright, and new memory will be assigned to the variable. So what will happen, every time you assign a new value to a variable, every time it will take a new memory location. So please do remember this, as when we have to find out the output question, you may be required all these concepts. Next we have a dynamic typing. Dynamic typing is again a very simple concept to understand. Let me come to the example straight away. You see, if I say x is equals to 100, print x, it will print the value as 100. Here I am assigning the numeric value. Then if I say, after that if I say x is equals to kVOEF, that means in the next statement I am assigning a string value to the variable x. So this is the dynamic thing of a variable here. These means earlier this x has numeric value. Alright. The next statement, if I say kVOEF, that is, this is a string value. So after the numeric value was assigned, in the next statement if I say string value, so this x will become of type string. So this is dynamic. Now see this example here by a small picture. See, x is equals to 100, so x is having integer value, that is 100. In the next statement, if I say x is equals to kVOEF, so now x is not having the numeric value, now it is having the new value as string, and that is kVOEF. So this is dynamic typing. Now caution with the dynamic typing, you have to be little careful while using the concept of dynamic typing. See, let us come to the example straight away. In the beginning I said x is equals to 100, fine, I am assigning an integer value to the variable x. Then I said y is equals to 0, that is again a fine, we are assigning 0 to y. Now if I say y is equals to x divided by 2, fine, this is an integer value, this is again an integer value, so we are dividing integer by integer, perfectly valid. Print y, it will give you an output. Now the next statement, if I say x is equals to exam, so earlier x was holding the integer value, now in this statement x is holding the string value. And in the next statement, if I say y is equals to x divided by 2, that means I am trying to divide string value by numeric value, which is invalid. What type of error will it generate? Yes students, what type of error? Write down, tell me the name of error that it will generate in your comment box. Next is static dynamic, static typing versus dynamic typing. You can just go through on your own. It is the entire thing that I have already explained.